Hello, my name is Ricky Cody, and I am the Programming Director for Valparaiso University Television. Earlier this month, the Valparaiso University community said goodbye to the Beta Lambda chapter of Sigma Tau Gamma. I had the privilege to sit down with two of the men representing the organization who shared their story exclusively with VUTV. There have been some pretty strong reports about what exactly happened. At this point, the entire student body doesn't really know. The Greek community received email regarding the incident that took place, and obviously we're talking about your chapter being the charter being revoked. Do you guys personally, and John, let me start with you, find that you as a brotherhood are responsible for what had happened?
For being removed from campus? No. I think that we have done nothing wrong, and if it was hazing allegations, technically the university makes you haze.
Right.
Like the Valparaiso University hazes. If you have to run for gym class, whoa, that's physical discomfort. And we don't even do that.
Right.
So like, I just lost my house, and like it's really aggravating, and I don't have a place to live right now, and for no reason.
Yeah. Is this the idea that he's talking about? Is that a mutual agreement? I assume that a feeling rather that's going in the house.
Yeah. That's exactly how everyone else feels in the house.
Okay. So a lot of people are pointing fingers and about who was responsible, if it was one person over the other, or if it was Valpo's Greek Life. Do you guys feel like the Greek Life system, whether it was one person in particular or Valpo Greek Life as a whole, really didn't do everything that they should have done to make this transition go over smoother? Whether it happened or not, like, let's completely hypothetically speaking, do you think they did what they should have done, or did they not hold up their end of the bargain?
I don't think the bargain was held up by Greek Life. We were supposed to receive J-board trials, like in a democracy, we do these trial by jury things. And that didn't really happen, They just, people sent in words, like people said, Carrie and the head of Greek Life, the dean of Greek Life, had these allegations against us that had no ground, and she just sent them to us, and I have no idea where she got these. I'm at half of a mind to believe she made them up, because we received no information about where they came from.
From her?
We received no information from her or from anybody about where they came from. And they're disturbing allegations that, like, who would make that up?
Right.
Like,
It seems very, very bold, a very bold statement to make, too. So when the executive council within your guys' organization found out, how did that information get translated to you? Because obviously you didn't know about it, and then you guys were just hit with this information that, oh, well, there's a chance that our charter might be revoked. How did you guys find out about it?
I got a text message from Adam, our president,
Right.
and he basically just told me that we can't have any contact with the brothers, that we're under investigation, and we can't come down to the house. Just stay in our rooms and just stay away from the house and try not to make contact with the brothers.
So are you guys, this is where you live, right? You live at the house?
And I have for the past 11 months.
Right, and so do you still live there now, or did the university kind of take over and make you live like in a dorm or some other residence?
The university wants us to move, or is having us move into the dorms, but our alumni association owns that property.
Right, I was going to say that you guys, I would say the alumni own that property. That's not owned by the university. Am I correct?
Right. So
you guys technically can still live there, and the university can't.
Due to the fact that until you were a senior at Valparaiso University, you were required to live in the dorms unless you were at a recognized fraternity house, a commuter student, or have a doctor's note. And with that doctor's note, there's an appeal process. So,
Right.
and there's nothing really wrong with me.
Right. So are you in the same position too? Have you been living in the house? Or?
No, I'm not. I was pledging at the time, and I still live in the dorms.
Okay.
So.
Awesome. Maybe not so much individually. Maybe talk more about you in particular. Are you, besides, because you kind of alluded to it already with Valpo Greek Life, and perhaps even the university, are you specifically mad at one person in particular?
No, not in Greek. I'm angry that people would make allegations, and if
You're talking like the people who made the allegations as well as continued, correct?
See, I don't really know what happened. That's what I'm most angry about, is that I don't know what happened. I just basically woke up one morning and was told that, like, I'm losing my house. I have school to do, I consider myself a good student, and I don't really bother anyone, I do my schoolwork, and like, it's just kind of a huge pain to be told I'm supposed to move out of my house.
is the feeling that he's feeling, you find it to be, because you guys were asked not to have conversations with.
Yes, like Cody's my friend, you know, like it is completely ridiculous to tell me I can't hang out with my friends.
Right.
Yeah, and it was hard for those 2 or 3 weeks we were under investigation to not make contact with the brothers because we had already became such good friends with them.
Right.
That, like,
and in this case, may have been friends well before SIGTOW even was a part of part of your guys' lives. I mean, I completely understand where you're coming from.
On that note, though, we received notices from Greek Life that we were with our new members during that time.
Okay.
That didn't happen. I was told that we received an email that I was with new members over the weekend, and you know where I was? I was in a different state.
And this email came from?
I don't know if this was an email saying that Greek Life was informed that that members of our fraternity were with our new members, and that didn't happen, man.
Yeah, and it was an email from Carrie, and basically said that she had reports that me and my pledge brother Scott were with a couple of the brothers at a house one weekend when we hadn't made contact.
Was this
with
prior
them.
to the investigation?
This was during the investigation.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like 2 weeks ago maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
There were, and again, the point of this, as we talked about, is to dispel any rumors that you know just as well as I do have been said around campus, and they have been extreme. I mean, you've heard them just as well as I have. There have been reports, though, that there's been some backlash from the organization, that you guys are just angry, and that you guys are just angry at Greek Life, angry at other fraternal organizations. First off, is this true? And secondly, if it is true, which we had talked about earlier that you said that it wasn't, why do you think people are feeling this way? Is this just another way of them kind of targeting your guys' organization?
I think people, if they believe we're angry, it's because they would think about, like, man, if someone came into my house and told me I had to leave, at like holding my transcript, like Raven, hey, you want to graduate? Like, get over here, get out. And I think people would be angry.
Right.
I would be angry.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
And am I angry? Yes. But am I going to do anything about it? No. I'm just going to study more, and I'm going to keep going to corrals, and I'm going to live my life.
Because really, at this point, you, John, there's nothing you can do, right?
We're going to continue appealing this.
But I mean, for you personally, I mean, we come to school here to do well academically, to pursue a career, whether that's with Greek Life or not. But really, you're here to do school, and you're just doing you.
Right.
Correct? Are you in the same way then?
Yeah, and about the anger towards other fraternities and sororities or Greek Life in general, we have no problem with any other fraternity or sorority on campus, and none of them were even involved in the investigation. So we have no reason to be, and we're not angry at anyone else.
During my interview, the men talked with me about the emotional toll that this has been having on their lives, both in the social and academic perspective. Earlier this week, there was an email that was sent out from Carrie Whittier, who is the Dean of Greek Life here on campus and the Assistant Dean of Students. And I just want to read a portion of this email, and Cody, I want you to respond to this from your perspective, and then we'll kind of talk about this just for a minute. Sigma Tau Gamma has had a long tradition at the university of active service to the campus and community, with many alumni comprising the university's most successful graduates. Reading that, and again, this went out to all of Valpo's Greek Life, there's no question you guys have had some notable alumni, just as any organization or even anybody from Valpo would. Have you had any conversations with alumni who have either graduated 10, 15 years from now, or even graduated last year, and how are they feeling about this?
Since finding out the news of our charter being revoked, I haven't spoken with any of the alumni, but I know the majority of the brothers have been in contact with them, filling them in on information, and they are like manning their guns and trying to do everything they can to get a hold of the situation and get a hold of keeping the active or the brothers in the house instead of moving them to dorms. So they're just trying to control everything right now.
Right. Have you had any conversation with any alumni? I know, being a part of the executive board, you may have. Have you had any conversation with past alumni at this point?
Yes, I have. And there's a wide variety of feelings among them.
I can imagine.
There's anger, sadness, a little disappointment. We were told not to tell anyone about this. We kind of kept this under wraps, and some of them are disappointed that that happened because they
Was that within the organization,
this
or was that
both
said from?
This was asked by multiple parties.
Okay.
And our alumni were not entirely informed, and they feel like they could have done more, and they're currently working to do more because our alumni are very large donors to the VU community, and some of them have expressed like an anger, and obviously they come back every homecoming and we part, like we have a good time. I mean, once you get married, you know, like what are you gonna do? Like you can't really go out to the bars all the time. You have your friends and your brothers, and that was taken from them, and that's sad.
The recruitment process is already beginning for the fall. Really, recruitment, just as well as you guys know, is an all-around-the-year thing. You're constantly looking for guys to show why Sigma Tau is the best, why all these other organizations are the best. For guys who are considering to go Greek, whether them here now or for incoming freshmen, should they be discouraged about joining Greek life regarding your guys' situation?
If you can find an organization that you have that will be your friends forever, I see no reason why you shouldn't. I do think that you should be hesitant about like what happens. Can I rephrase that question?
Yeah, of course.
Can we cut it and
Yeah.
then let me start? Okay, so
This was one that I didn't go over because I wrote it down as you were talking. So I mean, I can come back to that if you guys want me to.
no, I just want to because it's definitely a great thing. It's just like people got to be careful. Like they're not entirely happy with. Oh, okay, I can say that. Okay.
So yeah, whenever you're free.
I see no problem with joining an organization that has your friends in it, and they'll be friends for. Oh God damn it. All right, and take 3. I have no problem joining another Greek. Oh shit. Okay, take 4. There is nothing wrong with joining a Greek organization. I would do it again. I joined a house with my friends, and I'm going to be friends with these guys for the rest of my life. I would recommend anyone else do it. I would caution them to be careful because I personally feel that this is not entirely the easiest campus to be a member of a Greek organization on. There are some problems that come with it, and someone should be wary.
How about you?
I was never initiated as a brother, and never will be in Sigma Tau Gamma, which is a horrible thing. But my options are still open for rushing any other fraternity on campus. And the brothers have been extremely supportive with that. They want me to be a member of Greek life because they've gotten to experience it already. And they know how great of a thing it can be.
Real quick, did you have that option too? I don't know the specifics on how that works.
To rush another house?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I'm not going to do that, though.
No. That's interesting. I had no idea. I had no idea. I guess the last thing I want to just have you guys talk about. You know, we've asked a whole host of questions. Give you guys about 2 minutes apiece. Any last-minute words? Anything that you guys have heard that you guys would like to clear up? This is right now your chance to speak upon the organization. What happens from here? What do you guys want to see yourself? Whatever you guys want to say. And you guys, if you need time to think about that, that's fine. Like I said, I just want you guys to share the last minute thing that you guys want, whether it's something you guys want Sigma Tau to be remembered by, which again, you said that there's an appealing process you said you guys will be going through, whatever, if they get back to you. And so it's not set in stone, right? Is this, I mean, it is for, I mean, it's happened now, but I mean, there's always a possibility that, hey, things were taken out of context, somebody said something that wasn't true, which you guys have said from the very beginning that that's the case. Just really whatever you guys want to say that you want to speak on behalf of your organization.
I don't really bother anybody. I'm not the craziest person. And I have no I can't comprehend why anyone would lie to hurt me when I don't hurt anybody else. This has dampened my college experience. I'm going to have to commute now because I'm not moving back to the dorms. It's too stressful, too white, the walls. And I just don't understand how anyone could live with themselves lying like that. It's a terrible thing.
I had a great time as an associate member at the Sigma Tau Gamma House, and the allegations and the things that we got shut down for just aren't true. And I can say that as someone that was there every single day, and going through all the rituals and various educations of being in a fraternity, or being able to be in a fraternity. And there's nothing wrong done. There's a bunch of allegations, and it's been great, and it'll continue to be great because I'll still be friends with all these guys for life. But we don't have anything against anyone else, and we're doing our best to get back on campus, and we'll take it from there.
I also sat down with Carolyn Whittier, the Assistant Dean of Students and Dean of Greek Life here at the university. She shared with me the university's perspective on what happened as well as where the men can go from here. How does this impact Valpo Greek Life as a whole?
Sure. Well, it's anytime you lose a chapter, it's really sad and it's really hard, not only for the collegiate men involved, but for the other collegiate members on campus, and of course for the alumni men who have been actively involved in the university for many, many years. We don't take these decisions lightly. It's not easy for anybody involved, the university, the national fraternity, the local alumni housing corporation, the men involved. So we are working very hard to try to ensure that there's clear communication with those who are directly involved, and then ensuring that the campus community is also aware of the status of the chapter in order to be as supportive as we can be.
For students or for men who are considering to go Greek Life, you could see that this could potentially be a turnoff.
Sure.
Being involved in something and not exactly knowing what exactly happened. But for those guys who are considering to go through recruitment in the fall, and you know recruitment starts now, or recruitment
Absolutely.
now, what would you say to them who are really on the fence at this point about recruitment, or about going through formal recruitment?
Sure. I think that fraternity membership is the best decision a man can make on campus, regardless of choice. I think it's a matter of how those students make choices once they're inside the chapter that results in either a really positive experience or maybe some challenging experiences. College is a time to learn about yourself and learn about others, and fraternity really is able to provide that. Right. This decision is specifically about this specific organization. It doesn't necessarily reflect anything about the rest of the community. We try very hard to respect the sovereign rights of individual student organizations. So each individual fraternity is chartered through a national organization with a set of expectations and guidelines, and then there's the university set of expectations and guidelines. So any man choosing to express interest in a fraternity, we continue to offer really strong options, and so I would hope that he would take the opportunity to ask good questions, find out what the culture is, and determine for himself if joining a fraternity is right for him, knowing and understanding that the situation with Sigma Tau Gamma is with Sigma Tau Gamma, and doesn't necessarily, it sits inside of the community and we have a responsibility for that, but at the same time a situation or a chapter experience in another chapter may be different.
Right. So what's next then for the organization as itself? It's gone.
Yep.
The charter is revoked.
The charter was revoked by the National Board of Directors.
Where do they go next?
Sure.
And what can we see happen next for them?
Absolutely. So what the relationship is between the university and the national fraternity, and so the revocation of the student organization status is for a minimum of 5 years, and at that point the national fraternity could submit expansion requests to the university. Very similar to how Phi Delta Theta had been suspended and the charter was revoked, and then they applied for expansion and are back and healthy and moving forward. in preparation for their chartering. Very similar opportunity for Sigma Tau Gamma. We will work in partnership with the Alumni Corporation and the National Fraternity in between that time to provide an opportunity for the alums to come back together. So our hope, Sigma Tau Gamma has historically had a golf tournament on homecoming weekend. We hope they will continue to do that. We'll help them with that if need be. If they want to have an annual alumni meeting, then they would be open to host that here on campus in order to stay engaged and to stay in contact with what's happening at the university. And then if the National Fraternity decides to submit expansion materials, which we fully expect that they will do, if and when that happens, then the expansion committee at the university would meet to give consideration to that. The second part of that is that our expansion guidelines at the university give priority preference to men's and women's organizations that have been here previously. So it's not as though we would invite new organizations that haven't previously been chartered onto campus, because we have, there are a number of fraternities that have been closed over the years. Some of those groups have already expressed interest in returning, and so Sigma Tau Gamma would be a part of that conversation as we move forward. And so because of our commitment to the alumni and because of our commitment to the National Fraternity, we would want to make sure that they had first opportunity to expand back here before a brand new group would come to campus.
I know you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, because this wasn't in the ones we talked about. But what about the house? Can they still live there? Is that part of university property? Do you know?
The 801 Union Street facility is not owned by the university in any capacity. The house and the land are owned by the Alumni House Corporation. So the status of the house is up to them.
So because they're not a part of the organization here on campus, can they still live there? I mean, if they choose to.
The plan is for them to stay there through the end of the semester, as to try to not interrupt their academic pieces that are happening right here at the end of the semester. But what happens after that, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, so the sophomores and juniors are required to live on campus, and so until their senior year, and so the students are not exempt from that housing requirement. But what happens after this semester, from my understanding, that has not been determined.
Can the guys who are already initiated members and have been members for 2-3 years, can they go through formal recruitment in the fall, or how exactly does that work? Is that?
I don't know what do you mean by that?
So
like the chapter?
Say you have a student who was a SIGTOW.
Is a SIGTOW. They are suspended members of Sigma Tau Gamma until they graduate. So they cannot, the men are, it's in the letter from the National Fraternity that the men are not to engage or conduct themselves as though they are active members, but they are always Sigma Tau Gamma members. And so their membership they've not become expelled from the fraternity. Their active membership is in suspended status until they graduate.
Okay. So
they are members.
What about like new members? Could we talk to Cody?
Sure, absolutely.
Didn't necessarily go through the initiation process.
Correct.
But what are the options for
So
them?
there are 2 new members that were in process, and they have been completely released of their responsibility as Sigma Tau Gamma. So they could potentially go through recruitment in the fall and choose to join another fraternity if they so choose.
As you can imagine, the series of events that occurred are unfortunate. However, Carrie offered some optimism for the men moving forward in the next 5 years, and we wish them the best of luck. For VUTV, I'm Ricky Cody.